All right, welcome back to episode 263 of the Guide and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy. You there, Doug?
Can you hear me now?
Hear you now.
Oh, all right. Now we're good.
So you're up.
What's that?
I already did the lead in.
Oh, and I'm Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about guide guns and the responsible Christian gun owners' interests. On this show, we'll be talking with our guest, Wally of Sub MOA Shooting, about some reloading materials, products he's got, and some cool stuff here in just a moment. First of all, we want to thank our bandwidth sponsor, the Firearms Radio Network. We appreciate those guys and gals and everybody that's over there putting out content just like us and sponsoring all that data up there on the interwebs for you guys to download at your convenience. If you've not checked out other shows on the Firearms Radio Network, please give them a listen. And just be aware, as we always say, some of those guys are a little bit more salty than Doug and I. Also, I want to thank Oathkeeper TV for broadcasting our shows. We appreciate them putting that out there for you guys to watch and listen to on their channels and their Facebook pages and all that stuff. So if you've not checked out Oathkeeper and don't know anything about it, give them a look, give them a listen, especially if you are ex-military, police, first responders. It's a great organization, and we've done videos many times with Stuart. They're doing a raffle right now for Ruger AR-15 and 5.56 to help support the show. So go over to oathkeepers.org to find out more about that. Also,
Crossbreed holsters. You've heard Troy and I talk about it. We both carry with the Super Tuck Deluxe, and it is the most comfortable holster you're going to find out there. So go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the Cross. Also, PowerTac lights. If you want a bright flashlight, check our buddies out at PowerTac. They have a light for you from hunting, fishing, to security, or just having a little light in your pocket. Our buddies at PowerTac can hook you up. Check them out, powertac.com. Also, our affiliate link at Palmetto State Armory. If you are looking to put together an AR or want one already built, ammo, other guns, go check them out. We have an affiliate link with them, and everything you buy through the site, they send us back a little bit of love to help us with the show. So go check them out at Palmetto State Armory.
All right. Well, we've got Doug in the green room. We got Wally in the green room. Doug's sitting right there in front of you. I'm trying to do two things at once. It's not possible with my brain. So let's let me see. Where am I at? Okay. We will bring Wally out of the green room and introduce him to you guys. Welcome, Wally. Appreciate having you on the show tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
All right. So Wally is a longtime listener of the show. We've met you, I guess it was at NRA Nashville a few years back, and
NRA Atlanta, I think.
Atlanta. Time. Okay.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I knew we met you somewhere south of here, but I couldn't remember. I was telling Doug I was thinking it was Nashville, but maybe it was Atlanta. Yeah, hot Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't remember what year that was. Maybe 16. Is that right?
Maybe. Oh. Now you're down in the Knoxville area, aren't you?
I am in Knoxville, and was looking forward to going to NRA this year over in Nashville, but of course the virus got to put a halt to that.
Yep. Well, I guess it's all for the good. Seems to be taking a ravage down there where Doug's at. A lot of people having problems with it, so it was a good call. I'm sure that there would be a whole lot more people saying, I heard Nashville's hit pretty hard with it too.
Yeah, as far as Tennessee's concerned, Nashville is the worst major city. Here in Knoxville, it's not been nearly as bad as Nashville, and Memphis also hit pretty good, I think.
Well, tell us all about Sub MOA, what you got going on there, and what kind of products you got, and let us in on the secret.
Sub MOA Shooting is the name of our website, and I started it to give reloaders opportunity to buy rifle bullets for testing and development. If you've reloaded very long, you know that over time you end up with some boxes of bullets that you've only used a few of, and then the rest of them are just kind of taking up shelf space and you got your money tied up. So with submoashooting.com, we offer bullets in sample packs. So each pack contains 12 bullets, and that's generally enough to kind of let you know if your rifle's going to like the bullet, or if you like the bullet. You could start. You can do your load development. Either there's different methods for developing a load, and right now we have 7 different manufacturers of bullets, and there's probably, I think I have about 200 different bullets in stock, different styles and from different manufacturers, and have everything. Only calibers I carry are between 22 and 338. I don't have any stuff bigger than 338, which starts to get into dangerous game calibers for the big guys going to Africa and that type of thing. So we stopped at 338. Sell a lot of 6.5 and 30 caliber. Those are probably the 2 biggest sellers, and I have lots of bullets in both of those, from Barnes, Berger, Hornaday, Nosler, Sierra, Swift, and just recently picked up Federal. Federal makes some great bullets that we've just added.
Cool. Yeah, it seems like to me that the market, Hornady seems to be cornering the market on bullets right now on the different levels and the quality of them. Is that what you're finding, or is it?
Right now, I have a lot of Hornaday different bullets, and they make so many different bullets that I'm not able to carry them all at this time. I probably it's a close match between Hornaday and Nosler, of which I have most of. Here, the last couple of years, 6.5 is a big mover. That's brought on, I think, a whole lot by the Creedmoor 6.5 Creedmoor, and now the 6.5 PRC. And there's some older 6.5 calibers too, like the 6.5 Swede, and a few others. There's also 260 Remington was real popular with some of the long range shooters a few years ago. So, but the different series and Hornadays, I don't want to name them because I'd miss them, but there's close to 8 or 9 probably that I'm carrying between the SSTs, the ELD Max or ELD Match, and the ELDX, the Interlock. I just recently added the A-tip. It's a bullet with an aluminum tip on the end of it, if you can imagine that. They're supposed to be some of Hornaday's finest.
Now, what's the advantage of the aluminum tip as opposed to what the polymer tip and the?
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be more true. They're not going to get deformed if they get bumped. They're a little bit harder than the polymer. Hornaday come out with the ELDs a couple of years ago, and they were claiming that they wouldn't melt, as I understand it, under the high-speed friction as they were going. And of course, the aluminum, you don't have to worry about that. They're not going to. I don't think they're going to shoot them fast enough to melt them. But they're supposed to be the bullets. I've never heard anybody else doing this, but when they make the bullets, they're made in sequential order, and each bullet, and then they package them that way in the packs.
Wow.
So as they come off the line, each one gets put right next to the other in the box. Then as I ship them out in a group of 12, and they are the 12 that are close to one another in the box. So
theoretically, they should be as close to being identical as you can get.
I think that's the ideal behind it. I don't know how well that all works, but that's the ideal.
So they're not micro-stamped, are they? They got a micro-stamp for all the lifters?
If it is, I can't see it.
I couldn't see it either, even with these big old glasses.
Uh,
So what
I
got
haven't
you in? Go ahead.
I haven't put them under a microscope, so I'm not going to say that they're not. But knowing Hornaday, I would say no.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So I got into reloading. Gosh, it's been about. Well, I had a reloader back when I was 14. I got one of those Lee the little hand reloaders, the little square
Yeah,
red box that had the little powder measure and it had the case deprimer and all that stuff for 38 357 Magnum. And I used to load them back there. I guess that was I was 80 80 81 somewhere in that range. Because I bought a 357 Magnum and when I was 12, Smith and Wesson Model 19 Combat Magnum. And even back then, 357 Magnum shells were pretty expensive. So, I mean, they're cheap. If you could buy them for those prices back then, back in the late 70s, early 80s, they would have been a bargain to keep. But I got that was like the most labor intensive reloading I've ever done, and I didn't know it better back then. That was the first time I ever had a reloader. But you'd beat on it and you drive the primer in and then you pour the powder in and you'd seat the bullet. You had a little crimper to push the bullet thing in. It was just like the fact that it didn't blow up and blow my eyeball out was I mean that shouldn't be well I look back at it I'm thinking why would my dad let me reload that was the most dangerous contraption I've ever seen. I mean it wasn't a press, it was you took a hammer and you beat it down on there. I mean, you didn't put a big crimp or nothing on it, but just the likelihood of that thing exploding and blowing a case one way or the bullet the other. But
I started.
go ahead.
I started out loading shot shells, and I still do. But I started with a Lee hand loader for shot shells, and that also was strikes fear into me now just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Beating things with a hammer.
back then I didn't know it better. You know, I mean I knew that it was dangerous, but I didn't know it was. I didn't realize how dangerous it was. But my parents weren't never one to keep me from doing something. If I was going to try it, I mean, I think I started shooting at the age of 3. So I mean, I guess that was just the time back then. You know, it was just a different time. I don't know. Kids just don't seem as safe as we were back in the day.
No.
I don't think my mom and dad knew what I was doing, although she did take me. I remember I used to buy powder downtown Knoxville at a what was then called a jewelry store, but it was actually a pawn shop jewelry store. And I bought powder, and they put it. You bought it by the pound, and they weighed it out on a scale and poured it into a paper bag, and that's how I brought my powder home in a paper bag.
Yeah. Humidity would knock it out pretty quick if you didn't have something else to put it in.
Yeah.
I found an old can of what was it? Hercules powder that was in the back of an old safe of mine that was in the garage, and it done turned solid and started sweating. So I threw it in a burn pile and burned it up. I mean, it went. That was about it, you know. But I was like, I don't think that's safe anymore. I think I'm going to get rid of that stuff. I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say Hercules was a powder manufacturer that I bought from back in the day. They manufactured Red Dot and Green Dot, which is the powders I used for mostly for shotgun, and Unique, which they still make all those powders.
Yeah.
And they're still great powders, and I still use some of those loading shotgun and pistol.
Yeah, I've just Mike Island, you know Mike from Reloading Podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I tell him when I first started working on the show, he was one of the listeners as well. You know, we all listened to each other's shows back then all the time, but now you got like 14 shows going all the time, so it's hard to keep up. But I told him I was interested in getting into reloading, and he sent me a MEC 12 gauge reloader, and as a gift. and I've bought the parts for it, and I just recently got everything set up to start running shotgun, and I've got my own molds to make slugs. So I'm going to make me some round slugs and sabos or sabo. I don't know how you pronounce it, but going to make me some different slugs and try those out here because slugs are pretty expensive. But I've got plenty of lead around, and I can make some 500 grain slugs pretty quick, I think. So that's my next project I'm working on.
Was your Lee or was your mech 600 Junior?
I've actually got three now. I've got a 600 Junior. I've got a what's a Versa, the
Uh
Versa.
huh.
I've got the Versa, and then I've got another one that's like ancient. I mean, they're all 12 gauge, and so I could get parts for two of them, and so I got all new parts for them because some of them were a little bit rusted up and stuff, and I tried to clean them up. But you can buy those mech parts for dirt cheap. I mean,
Yeah, mech's a great loader for the money. I use mech. I have what they call the one of the upper ones. It's called a 9000H. It just does auto indexing. You
okay,
just load in. You just manually. You just got to put a hole in and a wad. Then each stroke generates a new shell.
yeah.
Uh, I shoot a lot of trap during the summer, so I go through quite a few shells.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, is it worth it? Is you saving money? Because I've heard people say that you don't really save any money on target loads and bird shot and all that stuff as much as you would on like double up buck and slugs. Is there a cost savings when you're running, your regular shot loads?
The For the regular shot loads, I think I can, and a lot of people, unless you've messed with shotguns a whole lot, you can tune a shotgun load a lot like you can a rifle load for your rifle, all the different aspects. And I get the load that I can load a load that works good for my shotgun, and I can use premium components
Right.
for about what it costs to buy cheap shells. The cheap shells generally have a real fast burning shot in it, a fast burning powder, and they also put softer shot and a not so well constructed wad.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I know with the wide construction is really important when you get into the heavier loads about them shooting well, be able to carry a slug and be able to seal. Uh, but I didn't know how it was with the lighter shot. If that was as critical as it is with the heavier loads.
Yeah, the there's a lot of different. The wad will make a difference on how your gun patterns. So it's kind of a trial and error thing for that. For trap shooting and skeet shooting, you want an evenly distributed pattern, not just a real tight pattern, but more like an even distributed pattern to break the target.
All right. Cool. So tell me about how you got into reloading and you do mostly rifle reloading or you do more shotgun.
Well, here in recent years, I've loaded less and less shotgun because the price of shot has just went astronomical.
EPA.
Uh, I don't know what's driving it. When I started shotgun reloading, or when I got back into shotgun reloading about 20 years ago, we could buy a bag of 25-pound shot for probably $12. Now it's about $45, and I forget the exact number of shells you can get out of a bag, but with some of the manufacturers offering rebates on shells that you buy, the premium shells like the Winchester AA's and the Remington STSs, they give rebates like $2 a box. So it's almost break even to buy new shells and get the rebates than it is to pay $45 for a bag of shot and try to. I used to buy shot like half a ton at a time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was
Pallet
shooting.
loads. Huh?
And my two boys were shooting, so I would spend all week reloading. It seemed like then we'd go weekends on a big shoot, and we're shooting 200 and 300 a day each.
Wow.
So we went through some shells and primers and wads and shot.
I can imagine so.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, but for rifle reloading, uh, I still reload on a single stage because I don't reload for quantity. I reload for quality because most of my shooting is uh, for my hunting loads and my hunting rifles. I don't shoot competition rifle, but I sell a lot of bullets for competition rifle shooters, and for our bullets, they're good for varmint shooting, hunting loads, and target and tactical.
Okay. Yeah. So tell me about there's a match. So there's match bullets, which are made just to make real accurate holes in paper at distance or rank
Yes.
targets at distance. And then you've got your hunting rounds. It's softer. I would say a softer lead or softer round that's built to expand on target on the animal. And then what's this hybrid that they're talking about now?
Well, a lot of those cross over. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are using match bullets to hunt with. Some of the burger match bullets guys hunt with. Some of the Hornaday, we mentioned Hornaday earlier. The EDLM ELDMs is a match bullet, and its comparable hunting bullet is the EDLX. So the EDLM, they both have lead cores, but the EDLM has a little thinner jacket on it. But a lot of guys are using those match bullets and testifying with good results on game.
Huh.
And a hybrid is just kind of a cross and some of both. And there's Berger makes some bullets they call hybrids, and some of those are differences between their in the ogive area of the bullet between a second contour and the other. I'm losing the name of the other one right now, but it has to do with the contour of the ogive area, which is the area of the bullet between the bore diameter and the tip. It's
Okay.
how that front part is shaped, the curvature of it. Second, and forget the other one. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Welcome to the club. Me and Doug
Yeah.
good all the time.
Yeah, well, you talking about Hornady? That's pretty much what I shoot for hunting too. I shoot those ELDXs,
Yeah.
and I like them.
They are great bullets.
They shoot well and they expand well when they hit. I shoot pigs all the time. I shoot a little ELDX in a AR 223, and shoot you put it right on them, and I've knocked down. I don't know. I got pictures of 240, 250 pound hogs.
Well, that's what those bullets are meant for, is for hunting, the ELDXs. And they have a little thicker wall, so, they'll just hold together a little better than the EDLMs.
Cool. So I know that you're not selling these coated bullets. The people are making their own. I don't know. Is that a good idea with a rifle to be smelting your own lead and powder coating those things, or is that going to load up your rifling with a bunch of junk, or what?
Most of the powder coated stuff that I see is for pistols. I
Yeah.
see a lot of that in pistol bullets that are lead coated. You also see, some pistol bullets that are what they call copper clad,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a flashing of copper
like a quick
over
dip or something.
top of the lead. Yeah, I think it's part of a chemical process rather than an extruded process. I think regular manufacturers, when they make a jacketed bullet, is they start out with a piece of copper and it is formed, then the lead gets put into it.
Okay.
But as far as how they treat your rifle, how they treat the rifling in your pistol or your rifle, I really don't know. I've not shot many of those. I've shot them some in pistols, I think,
Hmm.
but never in rifles. Rifles have running a lot more temperature and higher pressures,
Right.
so I don't know how they will behave.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the. I've got 25-06, and I'm wanting to load up some really fast bullets, uh, really fast rounds on it. And I was thinking about how to. I guess you would step. I mean, I'm new into the rifle reloading. I've been doing pistol reloading for 5 years or so, 10 millimeter and 45 and 357 Magnum. Been doing for a long time, but I've started getting all the components and the dies and everything together for the 25-06s. What kind of weights do you sell in that 25 caliber? That was that 257, isn't it, for a 25-06?
250, 257. Let me see if I can look here right fast. I have a.
I've got like 6 load manual data things that I'm always digging through and cross referencing to try to see. Anytime you're working on something that blows up and can kill something, I always try to double check the numbers.
I've got in 25 caliber. I got bullets as light as 75 grains, and that's a varmint bullet from Hornady. It's a VMAX. So now varmint bullets are generally real thin jacketed bullets because a lot of people like those to enter, then kind of blow up inside to get a real quick kill on the on the animal. Then I've got bullets as heavy as look like 115
20.
grains
Yeah.
in 25.
Yeah, I was
And
looking at those
those
70,
are nozzle ballistic tips.
those 75 grains. I mean, you're running 3,900 feet per second on some of the loads. I mean, that's zipping, boy. I mean, I know that like the 17, what was it, 17 Hornets or 17 HMRs, some of those guys are pushing 4,000 plus feet per second, and to the point they push them up to the point that the bullet just comes apart, turns into dust. Have you
Yeah.
seen people load them up that high?
I've heard about some of those issues, believe it or not. With a few years ago, there was some guys having issues with some of the ELDMs, I think it was, but that was just rumors I was reading on the forums. I don't know that that's anything official, but that's what some of the guys were saying. Uh, you can do that with a 22 bullet. I think you can approach or get over 4,000 feet per second in like
Yeah.
a 220 Swift, I believe it is.
Or 22
Will push
250?
some, or 22 250 will get close with like a 40 grain bullet. Then the 220 Swift, you can get like a 50 or 55 grain bullet. It'll get up real close to 4,000 feet per second. That's humming.
Yeah,
That's
it's
moving good.
but you do that at a detriment to your rifling. I mean, it wears your rifling out faster when you're pushing those pressures, I would think.
It takes a lot of powder to push one that fast, and you're
Yeah.
going to get a lot of heat. Get a lot of heat right there in the throat area of your chamber, and that's where your erosion happens.
Yeah. So you don't want to do that with anything but bolt action, and you don't want to shoot often. that kind of pressure and
Right.
speed. Yeah. Good deal. So what's your caliber choice that you said you like to load a rifle again?
Uh, it's according to what I'm doing. If I'm deer hunting here in the east, I have a 7mm 08 that I shoot. Uh, that's a real light rifle that's easy to pack. And
Yeah.
if I'm hunting out west, I shoot 280 Ackley improved, or AI as some people call it short, which is a 7mm also. But up until a couple of years ago, I used 30-06, and I still have one. I just haven't used it recently. And I also Really like a 270 caliber, which is real light recoil and great gun for most anything in North America except for maybe big brown bear.
Yeah. So you're a western guy like me. You like going out west to Wyoming, Montana, and out that way.
I love it. After
Yeah.
my first trip out there, I was hooked, and I try to get back out there every year to hunt. I just the I've always that was a dream of mine. Then I'm hooked up with a guy here, and we went out there as they'll go and say. I met him on the internet, and we went out and went elk hunting, and just the beauty of God's creation out there, and the majestic mountains, and you get snow-capped mountains, and you can be in a t-shirt, and it's just the air is so clean. You can see so far. It's just seeing everything is just such a joy to being out there. It's just and the sky at night. Uh, when you get out there in the wilderness area and you're miles and miles away from any utility poles and street lights,
And cell phone towers.
the sky and cell phone towers, the sky, the stars at night are just so it just lights up like it's like I've never seen before.
It's amazing. Yeah, I know. I love it up there. Yeah, we took every year we've been going out there since I guess 2010 or 11, and taking the kids and going. We usually go on a mission trip, and then we'll go spend another couple of weeks after that, just all over Montana and Idaho and all that way. It's uh,
Uh,
it's beautiful to see.
yeah, I keep up with your mission trips, and I've tempted to call you and want to go with you, but I said he don't know me. He's not going to want me to go tag along with him.
I'll put
I even
anybody to
told
work who
my
wants to show up.
well, after I got cut from my job a couple years back, I told my wife, I said, I might go on a mission trip with him out there. I don't know, but then you talked about the crowd you had, and so I just didn't bother you. But now that you've seen my face a little bit more, I may hit you up.
Yeah, we met a few years back in an NRA show. You were thinking Atlanta. I think I was thinking Nashville. But I guess it was Atlanta because you would know where you went. I've, been, I've been to so many of them, and they sort of run together, after a period of time. But no, so tell people how they can get a hold of you to get those bullet sample packs or whatever, so they know that's what they want to reload, and
Well,
where can they find you?
the best way to find me is on the website. I have a website, and it's all one word. It's submoashooting.com. There's a contact link on there if they want to contact me and ask me any questions. Uh, Even though a lot of people in the shooting industry is having delays shipping stuff out, I'm not. Everything goes out, most of the time goes out same day or next day, just according to what time I get the order and what time the carrier runs. And I've also created a coupon code for your listeners
Oh, cool.
that they can use,
Nice.
and it is God and Guns. And there's one G that's capitalized, and everybody should know which one that is.
All right. Right.
God, one word, God and Guns, and that's good for 10% off of the order, and that is good through July 31 of
Well,
this
cool.
year.
Thank you very much for that. We appreciate that.
Well, I know the listeners, if they enjoy the podcast nearly as much as I do, that I want to pass that on to them because we're all, I'm sure we love the same things, God and Guns.
Amen.
But our shipping rates are very reasonable. It's $5.99
Wow.
for up to $75, and anything over $5 or $75 is free. So you pay. There's two rates: $5.99 and free.
Now, all you
And
sell is bullets, right?
all I sell is bullets, and all the bullets are first run. There's no seconds, no blims rather,
Mm.
no pulls or anything like that. I only buy bullets that are new in factory boxes, and 90 5% of them or more come from my distributors that I buy from. Occasionally, I'll find somebody that's going out of business or they've got a lot of bullets that they want to sell, and I'll pick up some of those occasionally if it's something that I need. And our prices start at our lowest price is $649, and now I got lots of bullets that are $649. And I get orders where somebody just orders one pack, but that's fine. I don't mind at all. I
Yeah.
understand.
Good deal. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. Anything else you want to tell us while you're here?
Uh,
I know you
I
got a
think that's
Facebook
it.
page.
Hey, I
I
want to
got
ask Wally. I want to ask Wally one question. You got the ducks on the back wall back there. Do you on your shotgun reloads? Do you ever reload any steel shot?
I have not reloaded steel, Doug. No more duck hunting than I do. I just go ahead and buy steel shot or tungsten or whatever it is that I want to use, but I don't reload steel. I know there's some outfits that have all the equipment and everything you need, the wads and the loads worked up for steel shot, but I haven't loaded any.
Yeah, I didn't know if you're talking about when you catch stuff on sale. Excuse me. And when I duck hunt, I usually shoot that Winchester blindside, that hex shot,
Yeah,
and it patterns really good out of my gun and stuff. And you go to Academy, you can find a box for $25, but if you watch some of the sites, Winchester puts a rebate on it, and I think the last 2 or 3 years we were able to get you could get 2 cases of the shotgun shells. I think it wound up being uh, about $11 a box.
Hmm.
have you patterned those with different choke tubes?
Oh yeah, but it likes the pattern master. I shoot a pattern master duck tube, and it's kind of an extended range um, choke tube, and
Yeah,
man, it's vicious on ducks.
that's one thing I worried about when they first introduced steel shot. They recommended shooting one choke size more open than what you would normally shoot.
Yep.
So I was wondering what you shot there.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Some of them boys shoot, the extra tight patterns, and they'll shoot BB through it. And I actually saw a gun blow. I wasn't standing in the blind with him when it did it, but I saw it when they come out, and he showed it to me. And he was shooting 3.5-inch BB out of an extended tube, and it blew a Beretta A300 all to pieces.
Mm.
Yeah, we've seen that with in trap shooting too. You can put too much restriction, and it will have detrimental effects to your pattern. The
Yeah,
only other thing,
I
I'm
was going to say,
sorry.
I think he had just shot a duck, and then went to shoot the next one. I think the wad actually stuck in the barrel and didn't come out. And when he pulled the trigger the next time, that wad being stuck in there, it just because it split about halfway up the barrel and split it
Yeah,
and blowed the forearm off and blowed the stock off of it.
Look, it didn't hurt his hand.
He got one little cut right in the groove of his hand where he was holding the forearm when it split it. I think that's what got him. A piece of that plastic got him, but he's lucky.
That's
he's
it.
very lucky.
All right.
Troy, there's one more thing
Yeah.
I would like, if people are interested. Generally, when I have new products that come out or I introduce a new series of bullets, I usually post them on Instagram if anybody uses Instagram. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the same exact uh, ID handle. What's the proper word for Instagram tag?
Yeah.
But it's sub MOA underscore shooting on Instagram. But
Gotcha.
there's a link on the website. If you get the website, you can hit the Instagram link and it'll take you to it.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah, we'll put in our show notes too, so that they'll have that reference as well.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Uh,
go ahead.
Appreciate you very much having me on tonight, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the next gun show or somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully we can all get out of our respective states and go somewhere soon.
I know, right?
Look,
I'm actually sending you some business right now, Wally. I got a buddy of mine that reloads, and um, I just sent him the link. I said, "Hey, you need to go check this out and buy your bullets," because he was talking about how he was having trouble finding some bullets he wanted.
Yeah.
yeah, I can tell when bullets go out of stock somewhere else. So I'll have somebody come in, and rather than buying one or two backs, they try to buy every bullet that I have, and not get the one.
They're going to be the bullet king. They're going to buy them all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on, and I know it's a long time coming. I meant to bring you on a couple years ago when you started up the company, and it just flew under the radar. But we're glad you're here with us now, and we hope that you get some business from it, and we will talk to you down the road.
I'll be talking to you. I really appreciate you guys having me, and I love the podcast. Like I say, I've never missed an episode, so keep it up, and I'll enjoy. And I really appreciate y'all having me tonight.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
Thanks,
You
Wally.
too. Thanks again. See you, Doug.
Bye. All right. So glad to have Wally with us, and I feel bad that I didn't have him on sooner. We meant to, but just things happen, and then things get out of whack, and before you know it, you're done forgot about it. I got another guy I need to bring on too that's supposed to be coming on soon.
I think we met Wally. I think we was working the crossbreed booth when Wally came down and started talking to us.
Maybe
When we first met him.
Wally's waving by. All right. So let's see. We've got where are we at here? Okay. This week's guiding gun activities. Doug, what have you been up to?
Let's see. Of course, I've been doing my Sportsman's Daily devotional. Also, been doing a devotional. The chaplains at the hospital I work at have been sending a daily devotional with all the stuff going on right now. So they've been sending one out too. So I've been doing that one as well. Of course, church online. Just watch it here at the house, and you don't have to leave and go nowhere right at the moment.
Remember to send your tithes in, though, people.
Yep.
Everything's online. You got to send the tithe in. That's reminding myself, too. I need to send the check out tomorrow.
Yep. Wendy just did it a while ago. They've made it real easy. You can either text it in, you can go online and do it, or mail them a check.
Yep. Don't forget them just because you don't show up. They still need your tithes.
Exactly. They do. But let's see. I've been doing that. Of course, the hospital's been keeping us hopping like on a daily basis. So we've been staying busy with that. Of course, I've been carrying every day, and I haven't been doing any shooting lately. I haven't had a chance to go do any pig hunting, but I'm thinking tonight after we get done with the show, I might get out for a little while and see if I can't go poke one. I got a couple on camera that have been coming in like clockwork, and there's some big boys, so I'm going to go see if I can't pop one tonight with one of those Hornady ELDX bullets tonight and see what I can do with it.
Hey, there you go.
Let's see. That's about all I've been able to do, man. I haven't had time to do much of anything lately.
Yeah, you've been working lots of long hours and running around all over the place, haven't you?
Yeah, they keep us busy, man. It's a changing thing every day, the dynamics, and they're trying to set up units for this and a unit for that, and we got to figure out what computers they need and get cabling in there and get networks set up, and they won't put stuff where normally we don't have stuff, so we got to get that cabled. So it's been hectic. But hey, everybody's doing good down here in Georgia. I don't know how it is up there in Kentucky right now, but it's hard to find a few things. But really, I tell you, man, they got the stay-at-home order for Georgia, so you got to stay at home just like everybody else. But of course, I'm considered essential since I work for a hospital, so I don't have any problem with that. So I get up, go to work every day. I come home every day, and A couple of little towns around us have curfews from like, I don't know, 10 o'clock to 5:30. And unless I'm hog hunting, I'm in bed anyway, so that doesn't affect me. I go to the store and do what I need to do, and you know, just
I
don't think
think
as many
hog
people.
hunting's an essential thing too. So
Yeah, hunting is, turkey hunting is, and which I'm usually out by myself anyway, especially if I'm turkey hunting or hog hunting. So there's nobody around me, and I'm out in the woods. So I figure that's probably one of the safest places I could probably get.
yeah, probably.
But that's about it for me, man. What you been up to?
Working on the garden.
I
Got
saw.
got the garden broke. Working on chicken. I think we're going to try and put chickens in. It's the worst time to start chickens, but
Yeah.
we got 2 chicken coops already in our backyard. So I picked up some wire to refresh it. Most of the old chicken fence wire is all rusted out, and predators have gotten ripped into it and all that stuff. So it needs to be fortified. I think I'm going to move them over to the barn because I don't want them in my backyard because they make a lot of noise and they make a lot of mess. So I think I'm going to put them over the barn lot where the cows are at, and they can clean up behind the cows and around them. They'll like that better over there.
Man, I never was keen on chickens. We had them growing up, and
Yeah,
I hated them things.
yeah. I'm not thinking it's going to last long, but Mama says she wants them, and so and
She go get them.
she said that the kids are going to do them. I'm like, mm-hmm. And so I think me's going to be getting them, and I think me's going to be doing it. And I said I think we'd still be better off buying chicken than buying eggs, but we'll give it a shot. I mean, it's not that much of expense. We've already got the chicken coops. It's just a matter of I'm gonna. I think they're anchored to the ground. I'm gonna box up the support legs and put some timbers around them and cut them off at the ground and take the bobcat, put them on a trailer and shuttle them over there and set them up over there by the barns so that they'll be far enough away they won't be making a mess in our yard.
Set them close enough to the house so that you can sit on the porch and shoot coyotes and stuff that try to come and invade.
It's across the road though. I can't shoot across the road. It's
Oh, is it?
small. Yeah, yeah. I'm on the north side of the road, and the barns and stuff are on the south side. I can see everything. I don't know. Somebody said to get the Great Pyrenees. I mean, Tim's got a couple of them, and put those in with the chicken lot, and they keep coyotes and hawks away. Because we got not only do we have red-tailed hawks, we've got bald eagles here now.
Do you?
Yeah, I got one that nests in our backyard, and I told Chris, like, look, man, that'd be a chicken go every day.
Yeah, well,
I said, surprised there, little bitty white dog, little Molly, she hadn't disappeared yet because, I mean, she probably weighs 10, 15 pounds. A bald eagle would take it out in no time.
in a second.
So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we've got everything that loves chicken that lives around here. We got weasels, we got minks, we got coyotes, we got not groundhogs over here, but we got raccoons, we got possums, we've got the red-tailed hawks. I mean, they don't stand a chance.
When you talking about hawks and stuff, being able to pick up little dogs and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you saw our buddies that did the show with us from Night Crew.
Yeah.
Did you see the episode a couple weeks ago that they did with the guy that had what were they? They were African eagles.
Holy grief.
He had another name for it, but I mean it was like a bald eagle, maybe a little bit bigger, not much probably, but they was going after coyotes with that thing, dude. He said that bird had killed several coyotes.
A falconer?
Yeah, he's a falconer.
Okay.
And he was running around. They were running around at night, hunting them at night. And them birds was death on rabbits, dude.
Oh yeah.
Rabbit take off, and he'd reach up. He'd be driving a Polaris and had the bird down, kind of like under the edge of the windshield, and keeping it out of the wind.
Yeah.
And when they would jump one and it would take off running, he'd reach up and grab that bird and pull the hood off.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he pulled the hood off, he's like, "Get him!" And that bird would take off and fly right through the light, and go out and pick the rabbits and stuff up. But he said it would kill coyotes as well. He said it would come in on them and that bird, I think he said it had 1,500 pounds of pressure in each claw. That when it did, it's got a big talon on the back that it would sink in behind that coyote's head
Oh wow,
and kill him. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, you should go check them out.
dude, that thing could kill a man if it could sink its claw in the back of somebody coyote's head.
He he had two of those big ones that he was running, and it was funny if it got a rabbit, it would kind of like swoop its wings out
Mm-hmm.
and like cover the rabbit so he couldn't get to it, and he'd walk over there with he'd have a white mouse about that big, I guess he buys them by the dozen or whatever, but they were dead, frozen, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But he would take it and throw it to the other side, and that bird would see that mouse hit, and he'd take a burlap sack and cover the rabbit up with it. And that bird would start to ease over to get that mouse, and he'd start pulling the rabbit away. And he had to hide it behind his back because if she saw him taking it, she'd come after him. And I was like, whoa. That was a cooler show, though, man.
Yeah. Oh well. That's I don't know, man. I'm Falcon, Eagle. Well, that's their show. I'm gonna let it be.
It was funny though. It was well worth watching. I was like, man, look at that thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize how agile those hawks are and stuff until that time I saw that duck dive come. I mean, he was folded up just a free dive, heading for the creek, and there wasn't but that much water, maybe that much water in that creek, and that duck hit that water wide open, and that hawk was right behind him, man. And he was like, when he opened those wings up to flare to keep from hitting that creek, you could feel the wind off of it. That's how close he was to me. You hear, he went up, set that tree. Those things they're powerful. You don't realize how powerful those things are until you're up close to them. See how big their wingspan is.
Oh yeah,
hawk. And then now we've got these big old bald eagles around here. Like, I don't know that we need them, but whatever. Let's see. So planted the garden. I went over and did broke my neighbor's ground for him, and just was getting finished up and trying to clean up a spot for him for the for another little spot he was trying to get and hit a rock and broke the man, how to draw a blank like an old person. Shear pin, broke the shear pin off the PTO. That's why I was up in Elizabethtown yesterday picking up shear pins for the PTO it's actually on the rotary tiller. We've got like a 5-foot rotary tiller put on the back of that Kubota. It breaks up a garden really quick. I like it. Chris came home she went down to a little garden center between here and Glasgow and sitting down there for some tomato plants, and she came back with a whole back end of the car full of corn and beans and broccoli and all these other things. I'm like, I'm going to have to break twice as much ground now. And then she showed me the bag of corn is like this big, like big old bag like that. Like, I'm going to have to break 5 acres. That's a lot of corn. She said, well, you can plant, stagger it and plant. And I was like, yeah, but that's still a lot of corn. 1 ear for each one of the plants, so you're going to have a lot of stalks. And so I'm going to have to probably double the size or probably triple the size of the garden. We gave away some of the seed to our neighbor and gave away some of the plants to our neighbor. But we'll see how our garden does. We'll see how much help I get out of the kids.
Yeah,
we're doing a lot of hoeing. I can see that in my future. Be a lot of mornings in the garden in my near future. So working on that. Go ahead.
I was going to say I was up at Lowe's the other day, and I was actually looking at tillers, and because I can get my tractor through there because I'm like you. I got one of the rear tire or the tillers that go on the back of the tractor. Runs off the PTO, and I set my rows wide enough when I plant it that I can just get down through and take the grass out and not have to worry about it. But once beans and everything come up, you can't get it through there, so I'm going to have a tiller to keep the grass and stuff out of it.
You talking about tines and stuff, so you can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We've got old Super Cub over there. Not Super Cub. Old Cub International Cup garden tractor. It was my granddad's, and I don't know what kind of shape it's in. It's got the Hars on it, so you can go down the rows and keep
Oh,
on.
yeah.
But I that might be more of a project than just going through it with a hoe. How big garden do you put out? Are you put out one since you've been there?
Oh yeah, I had one last year, and I'm I'm going to put me another good one in this year. I messed up last year though, and I didn't get it fertilized as good as I wanted to when I tilled it and plowed it up. So I'm going to put a bunch of lime and fertilize on it this time, and then get it tilled in real good, and then plant it and see what it does.
Yeah, the weather here is tricky because it's been like 80 degrees for like a week, like upper 70s, and almost 80 for over a week, and then last night got down to 32. So
Ooh,
if we planted anything, it would kill it.
yeah,
Killed it out. We brought everything in that we'd bought and right inside. Today, I think the high was like 47. It's like 44 right now. But it's been like summer weather or June weather, May and June weather for over, feel like 2 weeks. And then it comes to this cold snap. That's the thing about Kentucky. You got to wait till after Derby Day to plant pretty much anything right here.
right. We've been running, I don't know, up in the 80s the last few days, and then yesterday and today it's chilly here too.
You didn't get no frost, though, did you?
No,
Yeah.
no.
See, we get frost. So,
I think tonight is supposed to be down to, I don't know, I think I looked it up earlier. It's supposed to be down to like 45 tonight.
gotcha.
Still, that's pretty chilly when you're up in the 80s during the day.
Yep. So on the gut side, I've been doing like you, been watching online sermons and with the pastors and stuff. We got Easter coming up, and of course today is Good Friday. So we'll talk about that in the Bible verses here in a minute. On the gun side, EDC, I've been walking around with my gun, rifle quite a bit, and walking more than riding the four wheelers and stuff like that, trying to get a little bit in shape while I'm off, not be able to go do much right here. Of course, we're cooking every meal. We're not eating out any, so getting a lot of work in on cooking. And then I got some slings in last week. Put all those on the different guns. I've got to work out something for Puff here, or Puff Senior. I got to figure out a sling because it's got this little, this little Heckler and Koch kind of ring there, but that's not going to do it. I'm going to have to put me a rail mount. This Troy Industries rail, I really like it. I've got to get some kind of a quick detach sling mount for this thing, and then I'm going to put another one of those VTEC slings on it. And then I've got my ACOG on here. So
Oh, yeah.
ready to go. That's 308. And then it's got I've got a standard stock for it, but I just like that retractable stock. It works good enough. ACOG, I like that scope. But I really like it since I've put this Troy rail on it. It's made it up with this PTR. Looks really nice.
It does look good.
I think it's a good look. It's the phosphate one. It's the lower end PTR 91, which is made on the old HK 91 machinery. They moved from up northeast somewhere down to North Carolina. I think they moved to PTR.
I think so.
I think that's where they moved to. So, but she's a good shooter. A rolling block. I like the way that shoots. And I mean, spare mags on those things. I was buying them when they were 99 cents a piece for the aluminum ones, the German-made aluminum ones, and then I think I paid as much as $3 a piece for a bunch of them. I forget how many I bought. I think I've got over 100 of them.
Oh, jeez.
I've just got them. I got them in ammo cans. Just put away. It says HK mags on them, and because they're so cheap, it'd be cheaper than buying spring kits for them.
Mm-hmm.
You just buy more magazines, and most of them weren't even used. Some of them were just. Some of them were metal mags. I got some original steel mags, and they were just from being in storage that they got surface rust on. So All right, so got guns. Let's cut most of my stuff up. But reloading. I got a bunch of 12 gauge components in. I did a video, but I didn't post it. The unboxing that was from Brownells because like everywhere, like Wally was saying, everywhere is like out of everything. I mean, people have just bought up everything. I mean, I don't think people are even reloaded, just buying up stuff and then trying to resell it. You know how that mentality is.
Right.
I bought some 12 gauge hulls and I bought slug mold and some of the things were back ordered. I bought some more 223 uh, bullets to load 223. Met up with one of my 3%er brothers here in Elizabethtown yesterday, and he had a whole bunch of 5.56 brass and 9 millimeter brass and 45 ACP brass. So I picked up a good sized box of all that to reload. So I was set pretty good for brass. I got primers in, uh, and so I'm going to probably set up and start running 223. Uh, First time it rains here in a couple few days, or next time it rains, I can't go outside and do something. So that's pretty much my guiding gun stuff for the EDC. I'm carrying the Glock 30S as usual, and all the other usual accoutrements. What are you carrying?
Got the old Glock 19, just like most days.
I'm triggered, man. I'm triggered.
You triggered.
Somebody was posting the other day that they carry the Glock 30S. It was Cleon Noir, the guy that does the NRA stuff, or used to do the NRA stuff. He said he carries a Glock 30S, and he was going to be posting a video up about it. So I was so surprised because I thought he was a Heckler and Koch guy, but he was saying he carried a Glock 30S. So that's
I
good.
tell you, dude, I almost pulled the trigger on a new one this week, and I still ain't sure that I ain't going to do it. But
You talked
man,
yourself out of it yet?
I have not talked myself out of it yet. I've been looking at that new SIG P365,
Yeah.
and you know the Glock is just a little bit big for a pocket gun, but that 365 is just about right.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's single stack, but they get 10 in it.
Yeah.
And
Our buddy Chris, he's got one. Says he likes it.
does he?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, up at
Yeah.
Red Hill.
No. Other Chris here in Lurkay.
Oh, yeah.
He was telling me he liked it, or telling somebody he liked it. Maybe he's telling you on your post.
It might be because I think I posted it out there. I had a few people commenting saying they liked them and stuff. And
I heard about 4 or 5 people. My cousin, I think it's Tonica. My cousin Tonica. I think she just got one. Says she likes it. So,
I got to mess with one day, but I didn't get to play around with it a whole lot. I would like to actually get a hold of it, and I want to see what the trigger pull is and that kind of stuff on it, and see what it feels like. But just holding it felt good.
yeah, I tried it at SHOT Show. It was nice. I mean, it wasn't as far as single stack 9s are. I mean, I'm not a whatever, but I'm not a big single stack 9 guy. Although I just bought one that a while back here, so need to get out and shoot. All right, let's get on to the jokes. People are going to sleep on us out there, Doug. Tell us a joke.
So this is kind of a homeschool thing for kids out now that can't go to school.
My kids are always homeschool kids.
They are. So this is a math question. So the teacher said, if I give you 2 cats and another 2 cats and another 2 cats, how many would you have? Little Johnny said 7. And she said, no, listen carefully. If I give you 2 cats and another 2 cats and another 2 cats, how many would you have? He said 7. And she said, well, let me put it different. If I gave you 2 apples and another 2 apples and another 2 apples, how many would you have? He said 6. And she said, now good. Now she said, if I give you 2 cats and then 2 more cats and 2 more cats, how many would you have? And he said 7. And she said, Johnny, where the heck are you getting 7 from? He said, because I already got a cat.
Little Johnny.
Little Johnny. I love little Johnny.
Little Johnny jokes. That's better than blonde jokes, I guess.
Done one of them in a while. Yeah, I need to do some more of those.
Yeah, the wife is happy that you've got off the blind jokes for a while. All right, your Bible verses are coming from Matthew 27, verses 45 through 54. I'll be reading from the ESV version. So Jim Rawls has popped up and said something about the 365 shoots very nice for smaller guns. If I wasn't a revolver guy, it would be my EDC.
Yep.
Good deal. Best thing about a revolver is if you run out of bullets, you can beat them to death with it.
Yeah, I think Jim was telling me the other day that he had one of them, but he is a revolver dude.
Yeah. I'm a revolver guy. I grew up. I mean, my first gun was the Model 19 Smith & Wesson Combat Magnum. I loved that gun. I don't know why I sold it. I was young and dumb. But another one of my favorite guns is that little Ruger SP-101, that hammerless 357 Magnum. That dude it's a little power pug, man. It's mean, loud, 2.25-inch barrel. It throws off fireballs bigger than a pumpkin, man.
I had one of those. I didn't have the hammerless one though.
I love the hammerless. It's smooth. It's a great pocket gun. I throw it in for a backup gun, and usually keep it in my left hand pocket, especially in the summertime. Stainless. I got off the Bible verses. Back to Bible verses. Matthew 27 verses 45 through 54. It's all Jim's fault. All right, so this is Good Friday, and so we're going to read the verse about we're not going to get in the controversy over it being on Friday. Now, from the 6th hour, there was darkness all over the land until the 9th hour, and about the 9th hour, that would be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama, no one asked me to pronounce that last word, Sabach, whatever, nothing. It means, my God, why have you forsaken me? And other bystanders hearing it said, this man is calling Elisha, and Elisha, and one of them at once ran and took a sponge and filled it with sour wine and put it on a reed and gave it to him to drink. And the others looked, and the others said, let us see whether Elijah will come and save him. And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up the spirit. And behold, the curtain of the temple was torn into from top to bottom. And the earth shook and the rocks were split. And the tombs also were opened. And many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they went into the city and appeared to many. And when the centurion and those who were with him, keeping watch over Jesus, saw the earthquake and what had taken place, they were filled with awe and said, truly this was the Son of God. And so, of course, this is on Golgotha, the hill that was, I think Golgotha means what? The skull. And so that they were crucifying him, and it was the Sabbath. It was a Sabbath day, and so they wanted to hurry up and get it over with, because we know that they encouraged that Jesus has sort of just prolonged on and kept going, and they're like, hey man, we need to wrap this up because he needs to be down and done by Sabbath. And so about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I forget what time it was. I don't know if we know the exact time, but he was, of course, speared, had a spear in his side, and water came out. That was in other verses and things like that. But some of the people hearing him cry out to God, why have you forsaken me? Of course, we know that God couldn't look upon sin. God is holy, and he could look upon sin. And so all of sin was put upon Jesus. Jesus became that scapegoat for us, right? For all of our sin. And so all of the sin, all the wrath of God was put upon him, and he had to bear all of that for us. And so that is why that Jesus is crying out that he has been forsaken, because God would not look upon him, and he had to carry that burden. He had to die. He had to complete the task that God had sent him for. In other verses, he says, it is finished. He has done what he came to do, right? He's accomplished what he came to do. the guy that came running up to him after they said that they misunderstood him to say that he was calling for Elijah. And so what they were going to do is it's like a vinegar solution with hyssop. And so for those who, for these guys that were up on crosses, they would put that to the mouth to help with the pain, right, to help take away some of the pain from it. But uh, Jesus wasn't calling for Elijah. He was telling, he was asking, God, why have you forsaken me? And uh, God, Jesus gave up the spirit. He didn't, he could have called out the angels and been lifted off of that and been immediately healed. But he willingly gave his life because of the love for the Father. He was obedient all the way to death, and the death on the cross. And so, as we remember this time coming up on Easter, last Sunday was Palm Sunday when he would triumphantly rode into Jerusalem on the colt that had never been ridden, and people were putting down palms in front of him, and it gave him the entrance of a king. And then, less than a week later, he's being hung up on a cross and mocked and spat upon and made fun of and ridiculed. But he did that to honor his father and do the will of his father. And he did that so that we could have a relationship with God. And just as I said last week, just as the first Adam had condemned all mankind to eternal death, separation from God, the second Adam, being Jesus, came to pay you that penalty, that death penalty that we can't pay. We can never have good works. We can never follow the law to the degree that God would ever accept anything that we've ever done. The only acceptable sacrifice was Jesus, and that is the only way into heaven, and there is no other way. And so, if you're trying to cling to your good works and you're following the law and knowing all the Bible verses and praying and giving money, all that stuff is meaningless unless you know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, unless you have faith that Jesus as the Son of God is the only hope of salvation. So, as we remember that, as we're here on this Good Friday evening, uh, we want to remember that Jesus is the only way, and Jesus is the answer to all your problems. And so, even those who had no faith, even those who had uh, didn't even know anything about Jesus, these Romans who were there at the crucifixion had to declare that this was the Son of God, right? So they're declaring this out of ignorance, but they know that the way things happen. And I also want to go back to this part about the curtain being ripped from top to bottom. The significance of that is the Holy of Holies was behind this curtain. The only person that could go in there was the highest priest. One time of the year, certain certain holy day, could go in there. He had to have a rope tied around him, and so in case he did something that offended God and God struck him dead, they could drag him back out of the temple. So the symbology of that, or the reason for that tearing of that thing, is that there's no longer a mediator. Back then, all the people of Israel had to go, and the high priest had to go and pray to God for the people. The sacrifices were made at the temple for the people's sins. Those sacrifices or blood offerings that they were sacrificing were made at the temple, and the high priest was the intercessor, right? He was the one who carried the prayers and the laments and things of the people to God, who sat upon the holy seat right inside of the Holy of Holies. And so the symbology of that, when Jesus gave up the ghost and the ripping of that curtain from the top to the bottom, means there is no longer a mediator, because we now have a mediator within us. The Holy Spirit comes in, and once we have faith in God and we confess and we are following after God, the Holy Spirit comes and dwells in us, and that is the mediator. We no longer have to go to a high priest. The preacher is not a high priest. We don't go confess sin to the preacher. We confess our sin to God, and the Holy Spirit takes those groanings, takes those prayers that we make, and makes that intercession for us, right? God, Jesus is our intercessor. He is the high priest, right? And the Holy Spirit, which indwells us, helps us be able to speak that. It has makes us be able to pray that. And that's why we pray in Jesus' name, because he is now the mediator. There's no high priest in the temple anymore. The high priest is Jesus. And so we do that prayer through Jesus, that our prayers might be heard. And so when God looks upon us, he sees the blood of Jesus. If we're sanctified, if we are his children, if we are followers, of God, then Jesus's blood anointing is upon us. And so that's the only way we can be saved. That's the only way we have an opportunity to go to heaven. Not by our works, but by what the work was done on this Good Friday, and then coming up on the Resurrection Day on Sunday. And we won't get into the semantics between Friday and Sunday and the time difference and stuff like that. We can do that another time if y'all have questions about that, because things over the years have been manipulated. Okay, so that was Matthew 27:45 through 54. Doug, anything you want to throw in there at this point?
No, you covered it pretty good.
All right. So, guys, if you don't know Jesus is your Lord and Savior, I pray that you do.
Yep.
Accept him as that. If you have questions, you guys can send me emails or whatever, and Facebook messages or whatever. You can get in touch with me or Doug, either one. We'll do all we can to help lead you in the right direction. But Jesus is the answer. It's not me. It's not Doug.
Nope.
All right. So we've already talked to Wally for the main topic. We're going to go ahead and tell you guys how you can help out our show. We don't charge y'all a thing to watch this show. It's free.
No membership fee.
No membership fee, no exclusive clubs that you got to join to become a member to hear whatever we say here for free or for everybody. But if you want to help us out, you want to help out our expenses and things like that, we would appreciate it. You can do that with patches and stickers, and you can see what the patches and stickers look behind us. We had an order today. Who is this order? I've got to drop in the mailbox. This was from Todd Coleman up in Mountain Home, Idaho. That'll be going out in the mail in the morning. So we appreciate the patches and stickers. We appreciate you guys' support and all the kind words and messages and everything you guys send us to tell us you appreciate it. We really appreciate that. Another way you can help us is we've got Zija is something I take for my health, from pain management, for weight loss, and it's called the link to go to that place to find out more information about it's called godandguns.myzija.com, and you can find out more about it. I've got a sample that's sitting here I need to mail out to. Someone had asked for. It was reminded me. So if you're waiting for a sample, it's probably because it's sitting here on my desk. And I need to get that out to you. Sorry about that. Oathkeepers.org. We don't get anything from Oath Keepers. We just want to support them. So if you guys would like to help out Oath Keepers, we would appreciate it. You can find out about their new raffle for our AR-15 if you go to oathkeepers.org. And that's pretty much that. We'll let you hit these next few, and then we'll hit the armed citizen after that.
All right. Crossbreed holsters. You've heard Troy and I talk about it. Just the most comfortable holster that you can get. We both carry a Super Tuck Deluxe, but they got a holster for any kind of gun pretty much that you want to carry and any way you want to carry it. Penix carry, on your side. If you want one in your wife wants one in her pocketbooks, you got it. Crossbreed makes a holster for them. Go check them out at crossbreedholsters.com. Use our promo code G&G and get a 10% discount for just listening to the show. Also, Axelson Tactical. Yeah, you've heard us talk about Troy's got one. I have one. Just tack driving rifles. Axelson makes a high performance rifle. We talked about long range shooting a little bit today with the rounds and stuff. Wally was talking about doing all the reloading and stuff for long range shooters. They have guns for that. So go check our buddies out at axelsonusa.com. Use the promo code God and Guns and get a 10% discount with those guys also. And PowerTac lights. Hey, a lot of you guys have been buying lights, and I get emails all the time with people saying they got a light, or they bought a headlamp, or they got this and they like the lights and they're working really good for them. PowerTac has stepped up their game for our listeners because you guys did such a good job buying lights and stuff. They are offering 40% discount to God and Gun listeners. So you can't beat that. So go out there and you will find a light that you like, and it's powertack.com. Use the promo code God and Guns, and like I said, you get a 40% discount. That is a deal.
Yeah, it's
So
a steal.
it is a steal. So I'm actually fixing to buy one of the M5s myself. I'm probably gonna get one this week. I think they're normally like $79, but 40% discount. $30 for a good light, good quality light. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Yeah, I got one. This came in. When was it? The other day. I thought I had it sitting here to show you guys, but
Hey, which one did you get?
that little $30 rifle light set up.
Oh, you got the rifle sight, the rifle one.
Yeah, it's got the rifle mount. I don't know. It was right here. I don't know what to do with it.
I think that's the E5.
What is it?
Came with the rail mount and everything with it.
Yeah, it came out and the pressure switch and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cheap. cheap.
That thing is bright too, man. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you.
It's plenty bright for you don't want something that's so bright that you blind yourself in the house. Like if you can clear in rooms and stuff, like what I do with the AR pistols, they're nice and short. You can clear rooms and things like that with them. If you have too many lumens, you'll blind your own self. So you don't want to get too bright of a light inside. Now, if you got an outside gun, you're shooting or hunting or dealing problems outside, it's another matter. But
Luckily, those lights have 3 different settings on them for brightness, and it also has a strobe setting.
Yeah.
So you can set it on whatever you like. But awesome lights, and
I'm curious to what it did with that thing.
I just can't say enough about them. But go check them out at powertack.com, and I promise you will find a light. They have them for military. I think they got a warrior series. They got a hunting series. So go check them out. They got some great stuff. Also, Palmetto State Armory. Hey, you guys have been buying stuff, putting guns together in Palmetto State. We had them on last week. Josiah was on with us.
Yep.
And he was talking about gun sales are up like 100%. People buying stuff, So I keep reading. Did you see Governor Northey up in Virginia just signed like 5 bills that they had put up for red flag, and you can only buy 1 gun a month. And
there's a ton of lawsuits over him too.
Oh yeah.
So they'll be suing him from now on.
But if you're looking for a gun, go check them out at Palmetto State Armory. Use our affiliate link when you buy something. They have bullets and stuff out there now. Of course, I haven't bought any because I'm just not going to pay 40-some cents a round right now.
Yeah.
The hype, it'll come down.
Hey, we've been telling people, buy stuff that's cheap.
Right.
Until now, you're going to pay a premium for it. That's supply and demand. You can't change it, and you can make laws to lock people up. But I mean, that's just supply and demand. That's a natural part of of any economy. If you got somebody that's got something somebody else wants, it's worth more.
That's right.
And you got a government that prints all the money they can, all the money they want to, it makes your money worthless. So,
right.
The flip side of that.
And last but not least, our new affiliate on here for our listeners is Sub MOA Shooting. Wally told us he got a discount code for our listeners. So if you're into reloading, go check Wally out, and it's submoashooting.com, and use the promo code God and Guns. And he said he was giving a 10% discount to anybody that listens. So you can't beat that deal. So, and we just found that out just a minute ago ourselves.
Yeah, we found out live here on the show.
Yeah, live just like you did. And that was that.
That was that. Cat in the hat.
Cat in the hat.
All right, so we have the Armed Citizen of the Week. Tell us what we got tonight.
NRA Armed Citizen tonight comes to us from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Armed home invader shot dead. Another arrested at Arlington
DRT,
Heights. DRT, dead right there. Arlington Heights, Illinois. Police are investigating a Saturday home invasion that left 1 suspect dead and another arrested in northwest suburb Arlington Heights. A Tennessee man faces a felony murder charge after he allegedly broke into an Arlington Heights home Saturday to rob a family at gunpoint, and the homeowner shot and killed his accomplice, police say. Bradley J. Finnan, 38, of Chattanooga, and his accomplice, Larry, I don't know how you pronounce this guy's name, is Brodak. That's where we're going with it anyway. But it's got a Z at the end of it, so I don't know.
Braddock's.
Brodix allegedly rang the doorbell of the home at 2400 block of North Evergreen Avenue in a targeted robbery. Arlington Heights police said in the statement. Finnan and Brodix, who were armed with a gun, entered the home and were attacked by the homeowner, police said. After a struggle, the homeowner chased Finnan out of the house and went back in to get a gun from the safe as he saw Brodix pointed a gun at his wife and 2 kids, police said. Brodix, also armed with a knife, then attacked the homeowner, police said. Fearing for his life and the life of his wife and children, the homeowner discharged a round from the family handgun, striking Mr. Brodix in the abdomen. Police said in the statement, Brodix, 58, fell to the floor dead. Police said.
Wow.
The family went outside and waited for the police. Finnan was arrested nearby and later charged with a felony murder and 2 counts of home invasion, police said. He is due in court later on Tuesday.
He got shot in the abdomen and fell dead.
Fell dead.
Wow.
I was like, whoa.
In the abdomen.
What he shooting with a 50 cal or something?
12 gauge, maybe.
Well,
He said handgun. He said
it didn't say what kind of gun.
said a handgun.
Well, you know how the news reporters are. It could have been a shockwave, too.
Yeah, that's true. He had it in his hand.
Yeah, he could have shot him with it. Shoot him in the abdomen, 1 shot and knock him dead. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it must have. I don't know what he hit in the abdomen. I always heard it was a slow, painful death in the abdomen. Must have hit some kind of artery or something in there.
It could have. Well,
Maybe a spinal shot, too, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Went straight through the spine. Well, still discussing gory details. We're going to move right along.
Hey, good guy with a gun, right?
That's right. That's the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun.
That's right.
Unless he's suicidal. He decides to off himself, but that's not likely to happen until he runs out of the last bullet. Or he runs into another guy. Okay. I've rambled on enough for tonight, so let's wrap this thing up. Send your feedback to TroyGuyGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GodandGunsPodcast.com.
Please tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review. And if you left a review and it's been 7 years ago or whatever it was when we started the show, 6.75 years ago, please leave us a new review or update your review. That will help move us up the ladder so people can see us when they're searching for things like us. So please just leave us a new review or update your review and like us on Facebook. And we like those Facebook reviews too. Appreciate those. If you're watching right now live, please give us a thumb up on YouTube or Facebook or whatever platform you're on. We would appreciate that. And subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on whatever platform you're on. I think we're on Twitter and Periscope and Oath Keepers TV and God and Guns TV and Farms Radio Network. I mean, we're on lots of different places. Plus, on our podcast side, which you guys are listening to, there's probably 30 different podcast feeds that come off of our feed. So,
right.
No telling where you're at. Give us a thumbs up wherever you can. We appreciate it. All right. So, where else we got here? Twitter. I'm just officially today just quit Twitter. I think I've got like 3 people that ever get to see what I post, and I'm not wasting more time over there. It's pretty much a dead thing. They've shadow banned me to the point where I don't have like anybody follow. I mean, I've got hundreds and hundreds of followers or like or whatever people, but they don't ever see anything I post. So I'm not gonna waste any more time over there. But there is a thing if you want to click on it, whatever. But I'm not gonna waste any more time with it because Twitter is just dead. Instagram. You can find us on Instagram. We got MeWe for backup. Some of you guys have been following us over there. We appreciate that. And our webpage somehow will be alive again. Someday, Doug. Sunday. Okay, that worked. Until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
Hey, keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Good night, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks, Gary and Brian and Wally and Jim and who else we got in here? I've got so many different platforms. I can't see everybody at once. We got Big Gunner 81, Steve Melton, Dixie, Pat, and Gail. Who else we got? I There's so many places to go. Good night, guys. Appreciate it, and we will talk to you guys later.
Have a
Adios.
good night. Happy Easter.